Hello there people, hope you're having a good day. This is Game Scientist, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get the highest KD that you can possibly get. Just so that you know beforehand, this is going to be geared mostly towards the people who are trying to get the challenge where you have to get the highest elimination to death ratio in a team game. If this video helps you out, please like and subscribe down below. It helps me out, and I hope to help you out later with more challenge videos. But you came here to see how to die less, so let's get into it. So, like I said, this is mainly for people who are trying to get the job well done challenge. If you're having problems with this challenge, stick around to the end, that's all I'm asking. I have several things that might help you with this challenge, and that last thing might be the thing that gets you to finish it. So, the first thing I have to say about this challenge is I think hardcore is probably the best option for this challenge. The reason for that is because there is no kill cams. A lot of times I think people die a lot in core games, mainly because whenever they kill somebody, that person sees that kill cam and knows exactly where they are, so they know where to come back and kill them from. It also shows where they're looking at, so they know how to get around them. Now, even in hardcore, you have to be careful because whenever you kill somebody, their camera still points to where they were shot from. So as long as somebody understands the game, they're going to know the general direction to look for you if they didn't already see you while you were killing. Now, I understand a lot of people don't like hardcore, and that's mainly because people think there's somebody on hardcore who's constantly spraying. But I don't really see that a lot in my lobbies. The only times I really see that is if there's an objective that's trying to get captured and they'll just spray inside that objective. Because you gotta think about it like this. You only get 1, 2, and then that's it. You can't kill that same person again or else you'll die from it. By the way, Global Hitman, I apologize. But, just saying, you killed me first. Kinda felt like I needed to pay back, sir. But anyways, my point is that nobody's spraying all that much because they're afraid of hitting their own teammates and then killing themselves. Now, for the actual game mode, you want a game mode that doesn't have an objective that involves killing the others. Because if there is that element, there's always going to be somebody that is just going for kills. They're not going for the objective that they're supposed to. The only 3 that really fall into this category is Patrol, Hardcore, and Domination. Out of those 3, I would suggest Domination. In Domination, it is really easy to spawn trap the other team, even if your own team isn't helping you. Because in Domination, everybody has a weird thing where, basically, if you capture your 2 flags, they're just like, nah, we got our 2, y'all keep that one over there, we don't even care about that one. We're not going to try to go for it or anything else. But in Patrol and Hardcore, because the objective is constantly moving and even goes across the map, that's going to force your own teammates to go across the map and try to capture that objective and split the spawns. Now, just to let you know, you're probably going to get spawn trapped while trying to do this. Don't get frustrated about it. Just finish out the game, and hopefully next game, you'll have teammates who are actually pushing and trying to get out of the spawn a lot better. Also, I know a lot of people are going to want to lump Control and Search into this, but they have those elements. Control, if you kill the other team enough times, then you win the round because they can't respawn. And in Search, half of people don't even go for the actual objective that they're supposed to. It's just go for the other team. That's what Search mainly is now. Now, I also want to say that there is a difference between patrolling an area and camping. Whenever you think camping, you think of a guy who's sitting in the back of a spawn or somewhere that's staying in one specific spot until they die. And sometimes this may work, but in most cases, once the other team figures out that you're there, you're going to constantly die. But patrolling an area, and if there's another name for this, let me know down in the comments. This is the only thing I've ever called it, so I don't know if there's another name for it. But patrolling an area is where you're just running up and down one part of the map and basically getting them as they're coming out of spawn, which is very good for spawn trapping. So let's use Oasis as an example. So let's say you got these 2 flags and they're spawning over there at A. That means they're going to be spawning over here in the building area. That means that you have this entire area to spawn at and run around. But I would limit you to run this small path right here. gives you some cover, and also leaves you close enough to their spawn to keep them in that spawn. So first thing while doing this, use the cover whenever you're running from spot to spot. If you have to, go around the entire back of the map to get to the other side of this area. But I would only suggest get like 1 or 2 kills from each spot that you go to. That kind of keeps them guessing on where is this guy at now, where they're not going to immediately aim towards you whenever they come out their spawn. Now as for perks, I think the best perks for this challenge is going to be Ghost, Tracker, and Mechanic. Now this first slot is probably going to be the one with the most debate, because there's a lot of good ones in here. There's Ghost, there's Cold-Blooded, there's Ninja, and a whole bunch of other good ones used for keeping you alive, but I don't think any of them are as good as Ghost. So Cold-Blooded is a big one. With Cold-Blooded, it only helps you if they're using a kill streak. And even whenever they use that kill streak, they're going to have to choose between you and another person not using Cold-Blooded, which there's probably going to be somebody on your team that's not using it too. So you have at least a 50-50 chance of not dying for what, maybe 3 times a game. As for Ninja, only helps you if you're moving. For this challenge, probably not going to be moving that much. You probably need to take it slow and have a slow game. And the same thing goes for the rest of them, that none of them really help you the entire game. But for Ghost, in my lobbies, there's a UAV active for about half the game. So it's either pick these ones where you have a chance of dying a handful of times in the game, or you're not seen by the other team for over half the game, more than likely. Now as for the second slot, yes, some good ones. Engineer's good for kind of going into their spawn and not dying from like things that they plant. Forward intel's good for like seeing a bigger map and seeing where they're coming from. But Tracker, I think is best because of whenever you're doing this patrolling motion, you get to see if somebody's come by there recently, and if they've actually gone past you into your spawn, then either you can choose to run behind them and maybe get a free kill from behind, or you might just be aware that there's somebody back there, so I need to watch out. Kind of gives you that extra information that would help you survive longer. And for the third slot, there's not a whole lot here. I say Mechanic because there are a lot of field upgrades that can help, but none of these really help you survive long. So if you want to choose another one, I don't see it's a big deal. I don't think a lot of these are going to help you in the long run. So like I was saying, field upgrades, some of them are very good, but it's mainly dependent on how you play with them. So I'm just going to go over pros and cons of them, and you can decide which one's best for you. So Dead Drop is very good if you're half decent at keeping up a kill streak. Maybe you get like 3 or 4 at 1 life, then you pop it, and then you get another 5 or 6. That's dogs. That's 10 kills, that's dogs. So it's going to help you out good if you're able to do a somewhat good kill streak. Tactical Insert, I would only use this if you're playing where you're constantly going into their spawn. That way, whenever you dive, because they finally figured out, hey, you're in their spawn, you can spawn right back over there and not have to waste the time of coming back around and sneaking into their spawn. A field mic, if you're playing hardcore, I would not use a field mic at all. Field mic is only going to help if you're playing core where you have that constant minimap. Armor plates are basically a portable version of deployable cover. Has a little bit less damage that it can take, and deployable cover can take a lot more, but you have to stay there with it. A jammer, I won't use a jammer at all. Whenever I hear a jammer going off, I know there's somebody in the area that's just camping, so I'm going to constantly look for that person. So you're basically putting out a wanted label on yourself if you use a jammer. Dead Silence, it can be good with patrolling an area. Just pop it every once in a while whenever you're moving from spot to spot. And it's very fast to reload, so you can use it a good bit of time throughout the game. Goliath is mainly a guaranteed kill every once in a while, but your body's there unprotected. So if you're going to use this, go to your spawn. That way they have to get past the rest of your team to find you. And Supply Box, unless you're really good at keeping up a kill streak, I won't use Supply Box. It's mainly for somebody who is not dying nearly at all, where they go through all their ammo. Or maybe you're just using a lot of lethals or tacticals. That could also be the case. So if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're watching other people's videos about stuff like this. Don't listen to people who tell you to use a certain type of gun. For this challenge, you need to be completely comfortable with that gun. The only thing I would say you do is make sure your attachments match how you're playing the game. If you're playing hardcore and you're constantly getting near the enemy team and running into their spawn, then focus on your attachments having sprint to fire time and time it takes to aim. Of course, you don't want a ridiculous recoil, but that's all that matters in hardcore is how long it takes to fire that gun. Because you only need like 2 or 3 shots and then that person's dead. If you're playing from your spawn and playing like a distance from the other team, make your attachments to reduce recoil and gain accuracy. Don't really worry about sprint to fire time, because more than likely if you're playing like this, you're not sprinting a whole lot. And that goes for if you're playing hardcore or core. And then if you're going to play core, but you're still running into the team spawn, then I would suggest have a good mixture of the two, because you don't want the recoil to be pushing off the person you're shooting at, because it's going to take 5 or 6 shots to kill that person from about mid-range. But you also don't want to be killed while trying to aim at this person. Something else you might need to change is your mindset. There are 2 mindsets that prevent a lot of people from getting a good caddy. The first one is that a high elimination to death ratio means a lot of kills. A lot of people want to have that little buffer zone for in case they die late. But that makes you run out into open and die a lot more. The thing you need to do is be patient and get a kill or 2 whenever you can, and then just sit back and let them come to you. If you're having a real big problem with this challenge, what you might do is wait till you get a big multi-kill at the beginning of the match and kind of just sit around and hide. Not in the middle of the map like right here, but go to the back of your spawn and hide for the rest of the game. Even if they find you once, if you got 5 kills just now, you still got a 5.0 KD. And I don't really see anybody getting more than a 2.5 in a lot of games. And also another reason for coming back here to your spawn is it kind of helps prevent spawn kill. The other mindset that I see a lot of people doing that messes them up is constantly trying to win. For this game mode, be the dick of the lobby. A lot of people, understandably so, will go out and try to get the objective and end up getting themselves killed. Now, I'm not saying be on the complete opposite side of the objective, but kind of stay off to the side so that you can kill them as they're trying to go to the objective. Because if you're trying to go to the objective, you're going to be running out into open as people are just staring at you and you're going to die a lot. Do this for a match or 2, and then you can go right back to trying to win. Well, that's really all the tips I have for this challenge. Again, if you got value out of this, please like and subscribe. It helps me out, helps the channel out, and I hope to help you out later with more challenge videos. If you don't see a challenge that you're having a problem with that I haven't already posted, comment down below. That way I know what to help you out with. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you again.